Hey, beautiful soul. You're listening to the Rising into Mindful Motherhood podcast, your weekly dose of fertility wisdom. I'm your host, Dr. Katie Wood. I'm a barefoot mama bear, pharmacist, and integrative fertility coach. This is your go-to podcast for all things to naturally nourish your fertility, embody womb healing, and reclaim your feminine power to accelerate your path to pregnancy. My expert guests and I will be having intentional conversations to discuss the many facets of a thriving, fertile foundation, natural wellness, and how we grow and transform as women on our journey to motherhood. So let's dive in, shall we? Hello and welcome to Rising into Mindful Motherhood. I am really excited for this episode. I am going to speak to something that I just keep seeing in fertility groups, showing up on social media, and just it is seeming to be a very common struggle that women are going through, especially when they are on the IVF journey, trying to conceive, whatever their journey looked like getting there. So what I'm seeing is I'm taking CoQ10, I'm taking all the fertility supplements, I'm doing acupuncture, I'm restricting alcohol, caffeine, exercising, doing the Mediterranean diet, I'm doing all the things. And then the question is either what else can I do? Or I've done all the things and I'm still not getting pregnant. What can I do? Or another one that I'm seeing is my second round of IVF just failed. What can I do? What do I do at this point? So it's all in different areas and spectrums of the journey. But at the end of the day, the theme is the same. And it's that we're doing a lot of generic things that we think that we're told is going to help us get pregnant, but we don't actually know that it's what our body needs to get pregnant. That is the missing piece, is we are doing all these things, taking all of these steps, following all of these rules and fertility hacks, and listening to our doctor or listening to a family member or a friend, and following all of these social media posts or all of these different things that other people tried that maybe help them get pregnant, but that doesn't mean that it's going to help you get pregnant. Now, I do want to say, I love that you're doing your research. Maybe you've read some books, you're following some fertility accounts on Instagram. You want to learn. You want to know, how can you optimize your fertility? I was the same exact way. All I wanted was somebody to guide me and tell me, what the hell can I do to improve my fertility, to help get pregnant naturally, or if you're on a different journey, to help my IVF cycle actually work, actually stick, for that time, money, and energy investment to actually bear the fruit that I am desiring, right? Instead of going back at it again and basically doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. So going back to that, I think it is very important to empower ourselves with knowledge, and that does include all of those things, right? Reading the fertility books, following the right fertility accounts, and taking all the tips and tricks and everything that they're sharing and learning from that. I have, oh my gosh, Instagram, social media is a very powerful tool. My eyes have been opened to so many things just from social media and following people because you don't know what you don't know. And when you see someone that seemingly has authority in a certain area and you trust them, that can be life-changing. It really can. I mean, I am so thankful for social media and having information at our fingertips because I have learned so much and I have grown and evolved as a woman, a friend, a sister, a daughter, a wife, and now a mother. Just so many things. But, but at the end of the day, all of these things that we read in a book or 5 steps to improve your egg quality or 5 steps to increase your progesterone. On the surface level, yes, these things can be beneficial, right? Eating healthy, yes, clearly and obviously, that is something that is going to help everyone across the board. Exercising, yes. Minimizing your stress, yes. But that's like on the surface level. We need to get layers deeper. So, nutrition, what does nutrition look like specifically for you? What possible food sensitivities do you have going on that could be causing inflammation in your body? So, for example, I had a food sensitivity test done a while back, and I eat eggs. I love eggs. It is a staple in my breakfast, and I can't remember which one was worse, the egg yolk or the egg white, but they both showed up on my sensitivity report, and one of them was like a stronger reaction than the other. I haven't stopped eating eggs. You have to observe and see if how these potential allergens are truly affecting your body, but I digress. That's neither here nor there. But there can be seemingly very healthy, pro-health foods, and your body could be having a reaction to it. So yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that something can be healthy, pro-fertility on the surface level, but it might not be right for you. So melatonin, for example, is an antioxidant typically used to help with sleep. It has been shown to be beneficial for egg quality, but I do believe that there are studies that show that it's more beneficial for older women, and it might not have those same benefits for someone who is younger. So it's just things like this. And in CoQ10, CoQ10 is an expensive supplement if you're getting a high quality supplement. And just because CoQ10 does have fertility benefits, that doesn't mean that it's going to be beneficial for you specifically. It doesn't mean that it's going to be the thing that finally gets you pregnant, because we are all unique bio individuals. We have had different journeys from when we were conceived to now. We were all raised differently. We were all given different genetic, epigenetic imprints from our mothers, our fathers, our ancestors. We have all lived very different lives in terms of nutrition, stress, lifestyle, things like that. And we're all in different scenarios as adults now as well. So it just cannot possibly be that all of these fertility tips and tricks and hacks are going to be helpful for everyone across the board. And that's one reason why so many people are still struggling to get pregnant, because we're all following the same generic, the same vanilla fertility tips. And clearly it's not working for everyone. It might be enough for someone to get pregnant, for sure. Absolutely. But it might not be enough for a whole other portion of the population. So going back to a lot of these things that I'm just seeing people sharing on what they're doing. I'm taking this supplement, inositol, or whatever it may be. I'm doing acupuncture, which believe me, I love acupuncture. I think that anyone who has access to it, absolutely. I had beautiful success with acupuncture on our fertility journey. I think that it played an enormous role in my conception, but it's just one of those things, not to say that it's bad by any means. I think it's so beneficial, but when you're coming from the lens of, I was told I should do this for my fertility and it's going to help me, so I'm going to do it, right? Like the energy I get from a lot of these posts is very stressed, like fight or flighty, very much the sympathetic nervous system. I am doing all of these things and nothing is working. What can I do? Or I'm on my X IVF cycle and it just failed again. What do I do to help the other one or the future ones work? And at the end of the day, it is you need personalized, tailored support. So going back to, we've all had different journeys to where we are in the present time. And we all have different things that are potentially affecting our fertility. And these are things that your doctor, your OBGYN, your fertility specialist, they are not trained and they are not equipped. They don't have the capacity and or the desire to help you look under the hood for your personal needs. That is just not in the realm of the services that they provide. I'm not saying that as a provider that they don't want to do that, because maybe they really do, but they work at an established place that has protocols, right? I'm a pharmacist. I used to work in retail pharmacy. You are limited within the bounds of your employment and sometimes your license and your role as a healthcare provider. So it's not saying on them. Maybe there are healthcare providers that really do want to provide a more holistic support for women and couples trying to get pregnant. Maybe, but likely that is not going to happen in that doctor's office. It's just not going to. There's just too much nuance to it. And honestly, at the end of the day, like, that's not where the money is. If women and couples are healing their fertility by getting to the root cause all across the board, IVF wouldn't be the billion-dollar industry and growing that it is right now. It just wouldn't. And that goes for all healthcare, big pharma. If we are healthy and we're not sick, that doesn't meet their bottom line, right? They don't profit from that. So I digress, going off on another tangent here. So getting down to these specific, deeper layers of you, your body, your physical body, your energetic body, your mind, body, and soul, your partner as well. There's just so many things that are being dismissed and not addressed and not even like peeked at, right? We're not even looking as a healthcare industry, like it's just not even being looked at. So I just feel like I keep seeing this and I see so many people struggling. And it's like, listen, if you took 3 to 6 months of your life right now and you spent intentional time following, being guided through a proven system to see what is actually at the core of your fertility struggles, and then mitigating them, removing them, whatever it may be, bringing your body back into balance with supplements, nutrition, even exercise that is personalized to you. Depending on where you're at, where your cortisol levels are at, a HIIT exercise may not be the best type of exercise for you. You may benefit more from yoga, Pilates, walking. Or if you're someone like me who tends to be on like the lower cortisol side, you can benefit from like a short HIIT workout, especially in the morning to get your cortisol levels up. And these are all things that you don't necessarily know without testing. Test, don't guess. Yes, of course, we can look at like physical signs and symptoms, and we can pretty much assume what is going on with somebody's cortisol levels, especially in the morning and in the afternoon and at night. Like if you're tired and wired, if you snooze your alarm, or if you just jump right out of bed, like we can make assumptions. But when you have diligent, comprehensive testing, it just paints such a clear picture of what the hell is going on. And then you're able to take meaningful steps forward, not just throwing money at supplements or this fertility tea or whatever the heck it is. The amount of things that I purchased when we were trying to get pregnant, thinking that it would be the thing that would get me pregnant, when at the end of the day, what got me pregnant was connecting back to my body, grounding my nervous system, and nourishing my hormones through nutrition after birth control. That's what got me pregnant. Not CoQ10, not inositol, not whatever else is the biggest hype right now in the fertility space. Yeah. So some of the testing, actually like probably 95% of the testing that I do with my clients will never be done at your doctor's office because they're just doing like the least amount of labs possible that are not giving them the whole picture. If they're just testing your TSH, maybe your TSH, maybe your T4, like that is not enough. You need to have a full thyroid panel. And I want your day 3 labs. I want your inflammatory markers. I just want all of these different things that we can look at. Even looking at your cholesterol can be important because if your cholesterol is low, then that is indicating to me that there's something missing in your diet or there is something else going on in your body that is hindering you from producing enough cholesterol, which is the backbone of hormones. So what you get done at your doctor's is just not enough. And then there's other testing, like the Dutch test, to actually show us what is going on in your hormones. So many times we often say, oh, I have estrogen dominance. But do you really? What does your estrogen metabolism look like? Do you just have like high testosterone and it's all getting converted into estrogen? How are you metabolizing it? Maybe all you need is methylated vitamins at the end of the day. Maybe you need a little glutathione. There's just endless possibilities. And I feel like it's just like the blind leading the blind. Hey, yeah, take a couple of these. They've been studied and shown to help with fertility. And then we'll pump you with all these drugs and do your egg retrieval and just all of these things. And then when the embryos don't make it past a certain day because the egg quality or the sperm quality wasn't what it could have been, or maybe you get pregnant, but then you have an early miscarriage because of sperm health or progesterone levels or endometrial lining, like all of these things can be addressed when you are actually dialing in and fine tuning to what is going on underneath for you. Then a couple of other things that we will look at is the food sensitivity test. So it's going to show us what food, like, do you have any foods that you're having like a mild, medium, or like a high reaction to? And if you keep eating those foods unknowingly that are in the high or the medium range, then you are just causing unnecessary inflammation in your body. What does your vaginal microbiome look like? Did you know that there are strains of bacteria that are anti-fertility? You could literally be doing all of these things to prepare your body and move through IVF. And if that isn't being addressed, it is literally all for nothing. Your oral microbiome, right? I had that podcast a few episodes ago with Dr. Katie Lee. There are different strains of bacteria in our mouth that have poor maternal and fetal outcomes, stillbirths, hindering us from getting pregnant. Our mouth, if you have things going on in your mouth, that's a huge, huge factor in inflammation, and it's going directly in your bloodstream. It's affecting your gut health. And honestly, I don't know what percentage it would be because, of course, there's no studies that are going to tell you this, but I truly feel that the percentage of people that are told either that they're infertile or that they have to use IVF to get pregnant is grossly higher than it truly needs to be. So doing this in-depth work is not only going to immensely, immensely increase the chances that your IVF or your IUI or whatever it is that you decide to move forward with is going to work. Or you get pregnant naturally without even needing those because you fixed the problem at the root. So then you don't even need it because the problem was never originally addressed to begin with. And that is why you were told you have to move on to IVF. And I just did a post on the statistics of the first round of IVF even working. And it gets lower with age. There's this whole chart. The percentage gets lower with age on it working with the first cycle. And then it does increase the more cycles that you do, but it's for, I don't remember what the number was offhand, but like 4 cycles, the number or the percentage increased at 4 cycles compared to the first cycle. But that's 4 cycles of IVF. What if your insurance doesn't cover it? Insurance, financial, money alone, the energetic toll, the mental toll, the physical toll, the spiritual toll, like that's so much on your body. And if you plan on having more children, you are most likely going to have to use IVF for your future children if you're not addressing what is at the root. This is just something that I kept seeing, and I can share what I want to share in a post, but I feel like it's so much easier for me to vocally share. And at the end of the day, it is just a lot of these things that you're seeing on the internet or in books. They're helpful. I definitely think most of the things you can absolutely implement, and it's going to have great changes on your overall health and wellness. But some of the things, they could even be harming your fertility if it's not right for you. It could be doing more harm than good. For me, eating eggs every single morning because you learned of all the benefits of eggs, that could be doing more harm for you than good if you have a sensitivity to eggs. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have eggs ever, but there's like a certain way that we can improve our body's resilience and capacity for things like this, but it's something you have to work on. But it's never going to be worked on if you don't know. So just taking certain things with a dose of caution and understanding that just because this worked for somebody else, just because this was recommended in this book, just because this post got so many likes and this is what this person says I need to do to improve my fertility, that does not mean that it is right for you. And just being informed and empowered in that awareness that I understand that there's a lot of things that can be helpful for my fertility, but I honor and understand that I am my own person. I am a unique bio individual, and what maybe worked for her may not be the best or work for me. And I just want you to know that there are ways that you can go levels deeper that is going to fast track your body's healing and ability to conceive and also sustain a healthy pregnancy when you go to the root of what is actually going on, whether it's just for you or whether it's for your partner or for both of you. So I hope you found this helpful and inspirational. And if you're feeling lost, oh my gosh, should I even be doing any of these things? Please don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram. If you want to hop on a call to really just dive into your fertility journey. Where have you been? Where are you going? Where are you currently? Where do you want to be? What questions do you have? Just DM me VIP on Instagram and we'll hop on a call together. Typically, I charge $197 for this call, but I'm going to open up 5 spots after this podcast airs to chat with you for free to see what is going on in the overall picture, and I will point you in the best direction possible for you and your unique journey. So DM me VIP on Instagram to schedule your free fertility strategy session. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode, and thank you so much. I will see you on the next episode. Using our 4-step restorative fertility framework, we will 1, reveal the physical and energetic root cause. 2, we will remove the barriers to you conceiving and carrying a pregnancy to term. Number 3, we will rebalance the physical and energetic body with bio-individual strategies. And number 4, receive. You will nourish the mind, body, and spirit so you can receive baby. I have 3 one-on-one spots for the woman who is ready to claim her fertility back. She's ready to step back into her power. She is ready to do what it takes to finally get pregnant. If you want to learn more about this, find me on Instagram at @the_wellness_pharmacist. My Instagram is going to be in the show notes.